Now, Breaker was eliminated by Dominic Mysterio, so was the initial plan Dom eliminating Brock? That would have been huge. But during a backstage interview following...
Honestly, that would not have happened. And if WWE were to plan that, that would have been stupid. Hey, what's happening, peoples? It's your boy Blaze here, back here with another one for Venomous Reactions, and today we got a video here for WrestleMania, and this is wrestling news. This is him talking about the whole WWE Royal Rumble that took place this past Saturday, along with some interesting news involving Vince McMahon and the whole scandal that's going on about him and the repercussions behind it. And one detail in here that just leaves me confused. Cody loses too. I'm pretty sure that was from Royal Rumble, even though I didn't see it. I mean, that should be interesting to see what he's talking about there. And the whole backlash with Triple H and Brock Lesnar being replaced, Vince McMahon related. And I gotta say this. With the whole allegations that's going around with Vince McMahon, the details in that were completely graphic, but I'm gonna make a whole nother video separate on the matter. We just gonna focus on this one right here and see what WrestleMania is talking about with wrestling news. So without further ado, let's get it.
What is going on, guys? It is WrestleMania here, back with some more news. Join us now as we look at the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including Triple H gets backlash after addressing the Vince McMahon scandal, Cody Rhodes addresses the lawsuit and puts Triple H to shame, Cody lost a tooth last night, Roman Reigns versus The Rock still on, Brock Lesnar was replaced, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification
As
bell
always,
for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Also,
yeah, definitely subscribe to WrestleMania, man. He's always on point with the wrestling news, and he puts out one hell of a spree of content for all of the people in the wrestling universe to check out. And trust me, you won't be disappointed. You don't have to believe me. Check it out for yourself.
check out our new website, WrestleMania.com. Now let's hit the intro and get straight into our first story.
What's the first story?
Now, first story looks at Triple H backlash after addressing Vince McMahon's scandal. Our top story today examines last night's Royal Rumble press conference, in particular Triple H's controversial comments when it came to his father-in-law Vince McMahon. It was inevitable that a journalist at the Royal Rumble press conference would ask the head of creative about the McMahon lawsuit, and John Elba would ask the game if he had prior knowledge of McMahon's conduct as disclosed in the lawsuit. But Triple H would answer by saying, "I'm going to do exactly what you expect me to do here. Look, we just had an amazing week, a 10-year, $5 billion Netflix deal, Rock joining our board. We just sold out the Royal Rumble, put 48,000 people in Tropicana Field. I chose to focus on the positive. Yes, there's a negative, but I want to focus on that and just keep it to that." Triple H.
That kind of response there, yeah, that's clearly avoiding the question. And he basically thought if he answered, a whole lot of follow-up questions is gonna follow, and it's gonna take away from the event press conference. I mean, I get it. I mean, I don't know if there is a right time to ask a question. I mean, especially when you come off of a successful week and a successful weekend, business-wise. But I don't know if that was like the right. I don't know if that was like the right time to bring up the allegations. I mean, maybe it's just me, but you could have had a whole other press conference separate from the event to ask those type of questions, in my view.
H was then asked the question of what's being done to make sure people in positions of power can't take advantage of employees, and similarly to his prior answer, the game had very little to say. I'll give you the most generalized answer I can. Everything possible. That is a very important thing to us, a very important topic to us. It's as simple as everything possible. Although it was apparent that Triple H wasn't going to say anything about the lawsuit, Brandon Thurston would ask the game
Of
if he had
course.
actually read the lawsuit document, and in a worrying answer, Triple H stated he did not. I did not. I think Cody mentioned it, that we all found out real time when you were there, and that's the truth. I'll go back to what I said before. This is an amazing week to us. At this point, I don't even want to get bogged down in the negatives of it. I want to focus on the positives and where we're going, and we're at the most exciting time of the year for us. We're at the most exciting point, to me, business-wise, I think that we've ever had.
I mean, that may be true. I mean, I did call that. I mean, they did, they did exceed expectations business-wise, even with the whole negative press about, the chairman. Well, he's not the chairman anymore, but the former chairman of WWE, good old Vinnie Mac. With the negative press behind that, they tried to push out the more positive perspective from my take of it, and not even getting consumed with the whole negative press that's happening right now and the possible repercussions that could come from it. And the whole generalized response, what are they going to do about, not having employees not being taken advantage of? That's a very vague statement and a very vague response. So I can see why people would give Triple H a hard time about that. But I will say you could have went a little bit more detailed than that one, from my take. But he was put on the spot, and he wanted to focus more on the event rather than the negative press. I get it. It's like I'm on a seesaw with this one. Like, I don't know how to feel about that one.
Later and added, I think it's the best positioning of this company since the Attitude Era. I've been through the era. I understand what it's like. I feel like we're in the middle of something that, while we may not be able to put our finger on it right now, 5-10 years from now on, we're going to be saying, wow, what a time that was. I want to focus on that. And naturally, Triple H's lack of concrete answers had led to much criticism. Even Dave Meltzer
I can
had
see
a
why.
good take on this. Your father-in-law was just accused of sex trafficking and rape. Everyone knows how much I personally like Paul, but this was bad. The most powerful man in history of the business was just removed in disgrace. This was really bad. Now, there is indeed the possibility that the head of creative is unable to address the case from a legal perspective, yet some fans believe that the game should have simply condemned the allegations stated in the lawsuit document and then just moved on. However, Triple H looked like he was avoiding the question more than addressing it. But Cody Rhodes also...
Yeah, he was avoiding it because he wanted to focus more on the event that just took place rather than look at what's happening like behind the scenes with the whole allegations situation involving Vince. So, in a sense, I get it, but he could have gave a little bit more better responses than that, from my view. But it is what it is. You got to deal with the backlash and take it on the chin.
Also addressed the lawsuit, and he put Triple H to shame. As the 2024 Royal Rumble winner Cody Rhodes was asked by Nick Hausman about the allegations, and unlike Triple H, Rhodes had an appropriate and respectful answer. I know as far as the news is concerned, we were finding out and reading the same things that you guys were reading. And you said a dark cloud, certainly. As far as TKO, Nick Khan and the board, they clearly took it very seriously. Acted immediately. Looking at the future, I don't know the answer to that, and I think somewhere is really basic tenet of just, this crew more than ever from a roster standpoint is very family. He continued on by saying, I've never seen anything like this. Most of the time wrestling locker rooms are fighting, talking trash about each other, making fun of each other, sandbagging each other in the ring, all that nonsense. This crew is very team-based, and perhaps that's the ingredient. Everyone is looking out for everyone, being accountable. I know for me as a performer, as a competitor, I've been through dark periods of our industry before, and it might sound cheesy, but it's very reinforcing if you're in my position that it's a time when you say, hey, we got 50,000 people out there, I want to give them something else. That isn't a terrible situation, terrible news. And I think we were able to do that. Obviously, as more news comes out, we'll be seeing it just as you do. Next up, Cody Rhodes.
Which is true. I mean, we're just now finding out about the allegations. I'm pretty sure more details is going to surface as the allegations and the proceedings they continue on. But honestly, I could give I I could tip my hat off to Cody Rhodes for that type of response. And low key, he did put Triple H's responses to shame on the cool, but he went on to say like, uh, he basically stated that, I mean, true, it is indeed a dark cloud lumen, lumin, lumen above the whole company as a helm. But, you know, people that's in charge, they are taking it very seriously and they are handling this accordingly. I don't even know if I'm saying that right. They're handling that within their abilities and then some. So I got to give credit to Cody for that one.
Loses a tooth. Speaking of the American Nightmare, it looks like he lost a tooth in the annual Rumble match last night. I found on Twitter notice that Rhodes' tooth went flying as he was hit by a claymore by Drew McIntyre. Outside of the missing tooth, Rhodes seemed absolutely fine, and it's unlikely he'll miss any time away from WWE programming. Next up, Triple H throws shade at Forbidden Door. One of the more exciting elements of the Rumble last night was the inclusion of TNA star Jordynne Grace. TNA was name-dropped several times throughout the broadcast last night, and it's great to see WWE involving TNA in a major match, as it benefits both companies in the long run. Triple H would reference Grace's involvement in the Women's Rumble during the post-show press conference, and the game stated that he's not a fan of the cliched terms about what door people go through. It's exciting just to be able to branch out. I'm not going to use all the cliched terms about what door people go through or anything like that, because it's stupid and silly. Although Triple H's attack on the Forbidden Door term seems random out of nowhere, fans are hoping that the partnership between WWE and TNA continues, and fans are already throwing out the idea of seeing WWE contracted TNA legends appearing at special shows. Names such as AJ Styles, Abyss, and Bobby Roode are all under WWE contract, so it'll be epic to see one or more of their names appear in the promotion where they became household names. Next up is...
That is true. I mean, I love the fact that Triple H is branching out and pretty much just, you know, eliminating the whole Forbidden Door atmosphere, and he is allowing talent from other companies to appear on their programming, which is monumental, and it should be interesting how it unfolds at other events that they may have on the calendar. We're gonna see how they fit in. We're gonna see how other talent fits in from other companies if they're able to make a guest appearance there. I mean, low-key, it would have been interesting to see Moose there in the Royal Rumble. Low-key, I wish that would have happened, but maybe next year.
Roman Reigns versus The Rock off the table now? The heavy favorite heading into the Rumble last night was CM Punk. However, with Cody Rhodes winning the matchup, this guaranteed that Rhodes will be in a world title match at WrestleMania 40. Based on how WWE presented Rhodes' victory on the show itself, it was heavily implied that Rhodes vs Roman Reigns Part 2 is now set for WrestleMania, which obviously means that Rock vs Reigns isn't planned, at least for this year's spectacle. However, Dave Meltzer mentioned that the plan is still for The Rock to face Roman Reigns. The Roman and Dwayne match is still happening, I just don't know where, and Brian, you probably know where, because you probably know discussions I may know too, and I can't talk about them, but anyway, the point is, it's still happening. As for Punk, it's still likely that he'll face Seth Rollins at WrestleMania 40. With Rollins being on the shelf currently, it makes a ton of sense to have Punk chase the world title opportunity, then the feud and rivalry between the two enemies can take full shape when Rollins is available for weekly TV. Next up, Triple H is high on Nia Jax. Since returning to WWE last year, Nia Jax has been presented incredibly well on TV. WWE have utilized her strengths, and for the most part, Jax has had great matches across TV and PLEs. Triple H acknowledged how high he and WWE are on the former women's champion last night on the post-show Rumble press conference. As the game stated that Jax had a fantastic performance in the Rumble match, and she's winning people over. Also during the press conference, Triple H had endless praise for the Women's Rumble winner Bayley. He referred to Bayley as constant and one of the all-time best. As things stands, if reports are to be believed, Bayley will challenge Io Sky at WrestleMania 40 for the women's title. And finally, Brock Lesnar
I can actually see that happening. I mean, the seeds low-key have been planted that, Damage Control may wind up turning on Bailey. I mean, the evidence is there. I mean, it would make more sense for that to happen. And as far as him being high, Triple H being high on Nia Jax, I can see why. I mean, she did have an impressive showing in the Royal Rumble. I mean, topping with the most eliminations, which I believe was 8 eliminations in total before she was eliminated by Jade Cargill, which is another impressive elimination from my view.
Still replaced. Our final story today takes a look at a potential NXT call-up, as last night during the Men's Rumble match, Braun Breaker had a standout performance.
Yes!
He went on a rampage in the match itself, and he eliminated names including Omos and Finn Balor. Now it seems that this spot was intended for Brock Lesnar, as there were reports that he would be returning and entering the Royal Rumble. According to the Wrestling Observer Radio, Braun Breaker replaced him. Now Breaker was eliminated by Dominic Mysterio, so was the initial plan Dom eliminating Brock? That would have been huge. During a backstage interview following...
honestly, that would not have happened. And if WWE were to plan that, that would have been stupid. But no. Dom eliminating Brock Lesnar, nah, he would have got F5 over the top rope. I'm sorry.
Following his appearance, Breaker stated that the main roster is now his home and he has unfinished business with the Judgment Day. I feel grateful right now. What an opportunity tonight was to make a statement, and I thought I did that tonight 100%. Things didn't go my way, but I'm not done with the Judgment Day by any means. Tonight I proved I belong on the main roster. This is my home now and I'm ready for the work. I'm ready to prove to my peers and to everyone there who believes in me that this is where I belong and what I was born to do. Judgment Day's got it coming, I promise you. But there you have it, folks. The wildest news stories you need to know. Be sure
Ooh, that's gonna be interesting to see what he does to the Judgment Day. And I ain't gonna lie, I saw Braun Breaker's appearance in the Royal Rumble, and he was legit badass, from my take. And if they are going to call him up, please do him right. Don't let him get lost in the shuffle. Like, actually make him have a spotlight. Most of the time people call up people from NXT and they get lost in the shuffle. They get lost in the atmosphere. And I don't want that for Braun, because he's actually talented. He's fast, he's agile, and he's powerful. And he has the demeanor that will make you either love him or hate him. And I ain't gonna lie, I love and hate Braun Breaker. I hate him because he's a heel, but I love the fact that he is legit badass. In my view. And I feel sorry for Judgment Day if they do decide to call him up. Woo, but man, that was a loaded list of wrestling news for WrestleMania. And once again, if you're into wrestling news and wrestling reports, WrestleMania is one of the many channels to go to. Trust me, you won't be disappointed. And as always, thank y'all for tuning in. Hopefully y'all enjoyed this one. And don't forget to tell your peoples across the globe. Come kick it with your boys just one good solid time. Like, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to share. Don't forget to click that bell so you don't miss a video from the kid. You feel me? And please feel free to follow me on social media or right over yonder. That is, here's your boy Blaze here saying chug the deuce, and I will see y'all in the next video. And I'm out.